The day has arrived. Dragon Age the Veilguard has released. I'm actually currently watching Az play it. It took him about an hour just to make this sexy creation. This is the armor he just put on, but as you can see, it's a bigger build. You got to go all the way in with this. You know, the blue hair, it's got the makeup, it's got nice lush lips. The facial hair is green. um, Pink eyebrows. I mean, you have to if you're going to experience this world, and you're really gonna have to go all the way in. Um, he's just kind of figuring out because it said he got some new clothes and all that, and he's trying to figure out. He's like, oh well, I didn't order the deluxe edition. I think they're just like it says promotional, so I think it's just from pre-ordering kind of stuff, and then the deluxe adds an additional amount. But yeah, you can see here's his body. This is what he went with. That sexy beast. Anyway, but BioWare allegedly discriminating against men and only hiring people who will parrot and embrace the ideology that the higher ups demand. Really? It don't say. Listening to the little dialogue that we've had so far, it sounds like that's the case. I mean, the dialogue definitely sounds like it was written by people who read, stay on Tumblr or whatever and read a lot of fanfics. It's really bad dialogue. It's really bad. The voices aren't even that great, and that's not the voice actor's fault. I mean, they're like an actor. You take with what take what you have and work with it. If the script that you're reading isn't good, you can have the best voice actor in the world. You know, uh, it's not gonna really matter. So I'm not really against the voices themselves. They're just bland because it's like the writing for the game is just bad. It's bad. So it just sounds like something that I went on my Tumblr account and I read some fanfics and I gained inspiration from that. That's what it sounds like. That's what the dialogue in the game sounds like so far. Um, New rumor alleges that BioWare is discriminating against men when it comes to hiring and is also hiring individuals who will parrot and embrace the ideology that the higher ups demand. The rumor comes from YouTuber Endymion, who alleges his information comes from former both former and why not just say comes from both former and current bio. Again, part place. You want to be a credible source. Check your spelling and your just proofread because comes to former both former. No, it should be who alleges his information comes from both former. Just what? I mean, seriously, I understand you guys might have a deadline or a certain amount of articles you need to write a day. When the article isn't that long and it's filled mostly with freaking, visuals, you shouldn't take it shouldn't take that long to go through and or at least have a program proofread it for you or something or proofread it yourself because I don't think the thing would pick up on that. Proofread it yourself, please, because again, you want to be considered a credible source, but with stuff like this comes from former both former. Come on, come on. I mean, every single article, I'm calling this crap out. It seems. He shared that one of the employees who currently works at BioWare informed him that current BioWare is more woke than anyone is thinking right now. They're thinking like they're so identity politically driven over there right now that this very instant that whatever you think it is, it's much worse than that. Apparently, it's more so about getting more women, of course it is, into these companies. Are we talking about women like biological women, or are we talking about the dudes who think they're women? Like what? What kind of women are we talking about here? Because when we know when it comes to these types of companies, they prefer the the latter, the dudes who think they're women, than actual biological women. So, like what kind of women are we talking about? Biological women who or people who think they're women? Like, let's be a little more specific here. Men are pretty much excluded entirely unless they identify as some form of non-whatever and so on. He added. At BioWare, anyway, I was told they are only interested in hiring people who they can control within the company. They want essentially what can only be considered as cultists that parrot and embrace the ideology that the higher ups at BioWare demand. Endymion then stated, BioWare, as we know it, is a corpse being worn by EA yes men that is filled to the brim with cult-like pandering weirdos. And as this person said, once the new director Corinne Bush came on to Veilguard, that's when, yeah, we talked about Corinne Bush. That's it's not a woman. It's a dude who thinks they're a woman. So yeah, they're not trying to get real women in there. Not trying to get biological women in there. They're trying to get people like this. Or actually, hang on. Yeah, that's Corinne Bush. Yeah, they don't want biological women. They're wanting this. They want dudes who think they're women. And then they wonder why these games end up so bad. Going to Veilguard and blah blah blah. It seems like BioWare in its own entity is one of the wokest, if not the most, in the entire industry right now that we are aware of. Well, this is for all intents and purposes genuine propaganda on the same level as Dustborn, if not even worse. Here's Dragon Age, what's looking like right now. So I mean, it's starting strong, which all games start kind of strong, but then down it goes. So having a strong start doesn't mean anything if it doesn't continue to stay strong. If we get to 100,000 and then like it just suddenly just drops, there's a reason for that. Right now the game's out. Like I said, I'm watching. You see someone right there, the bickering bunch playing it. I think Vera Dark said she's going to be playing it. Melanie Mack said she might be playing it. So of course, new game, they're going to play it. But just because it can easily just go back down. So you kind of have to, you know, just because there's a lot of people playing right now doesn't mean it's good. But like I see from what I've seen so far, it's kind of dull. It's kind of dull. That number is slightly above what Metaphor Fantasio did in its first 2 hours. The game hit a peak of, yep. Yeah. So wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Again, if you play the game and you see the I mean hell, I think the the character creation was by far the most fun. Just because of how absurd you can make them look. Like as the nose is like pointed that way. He's like a dumb kind of look. He's got the unibrow thing going. He's got the perky, A cup titties going on. Got the multicolored, the color like green hair or blue hair, pink eyebrows, green facial hair. Um, you got the top surgery scars, and it's just one ear is higher than the other. One eye looks like it has jaundice. The other eye is like cataract, and it's so ridiculous looking. And it was more fun watching that than it is watching the actual game. Which it's like look at this. Look at this sexy thing right here. And then he posted polls about which hairstyle. There's like, okay, 3 hairstyles. Which one do you guys want to see more? But the customization was more fun than the actual game itself. Like I said, you can tell when it comes to the writing that they're not exactly having their best. They don't they're not sending their best. Um so I nothing really surprises me anymore when it comes to this stuff. It doesn't. Um so like I said, the Korean Bush, they say they want to hire women, but again, what kind of women are we talking about? Biological women or people like Korean Bush who think they're women? Because there's a big difference. So, and I'm not trying to be mean here, but obviously there is a biological difference between a real biological woman and some dude who thinks that he's a woman. So when I say what kind of woman are they trying to hire, it's a legitimate question because you know, anyway. But am I surprised? Not really. Not really. And Park Place, you want to be considered a reputable source of news when it comes to gaming and pop culture and all that. Proofread your damn freaking articles before you publish them. Seriously. This gets annoying going through and like seeing all these typos and all this crap that you should be fixing it. It's not like you're just writing it down real quick. No, you have to sit there and think about what you're saying and type it out. Just fix your crap. Just fix your crap if you want to be a more reputable source. Just do it. Check your punctuation, check your spelling, make sure this, read your sentences back to yourself and see if it makes sense. Just just do better. Just do better. Or if you talk about bringing up a headline, but then you only like mention it once in the first sentence, and then you go off on it to a tangent and talk about something completely different, just stop that. Keep If you're gonna say BioWare allegedly discriminating against men and blah blah blah, talk about that for the article. Don't bring up another game and say, oh well, the game for this and the viewers and players and no, just talk about it. Maybe mention that stuff a little bit at the end, but just talk about it a lot more than just like one sentence or one paragraph. But anyway, before anyone starts thinking that like, oh well, this clearly leans to one side and you're definitely no, I'm calling them out on their shit too. So anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.